Mr.
Okay,
Megan, please, can you share the link to the note you were showing before the firewall stuff?
this
Okay.
one.
Yes.
I'll put it in Telegram.
Yeah. I saw it there.
So uh, you have application. So right now, your current environment, how do you manage your web apps? What platform are you building, managing your web apps? Huh? Do you have application servers or are you using a private cloud environment?
Are you referring to workspace?
No, not workspace. So on what platform are your web apps running? Is it running on a cloud web application service? Is it running on
Well,
uh
it's a mix, depends on the application. Some are running on physical servers,
yes.
some are in the cloud. It depends. So most, like in my own case, most are on the on-prem physical server.
On premises, right? Yes. So depending on the runtime of those applications, if they are running on a Linux operating system and they are using a runtime stack, maybe .NET, they're running a .NET framework or Python framework or Node. Yeah. As long as those runtime stacks are available in Azure, you can migrate them to Azure. So you can even have a conversation with your team that why don't you have these resources moved to the cloud for high availability, for more resiliency? Okay, why don't we move it? Let's test it if it will work. So we start doing research. Okay, what code is this app? Was this app built on? What was the framework? The front end, the back end. What are the components of this application, of this web app? What is the operating system it's running on? What are the dependencies, the databases associated with the app application? So once you're able to answer those questions, you can come to Azure and look at an app service that will be suitable for migrating your on-premises resource to Azure. Migration is a big thing uh, in cloud technology. So if you are very good at migrating resources, even if you are not a cloud engineer, you are a solutions architect. At least if you are like the project manager on the project. So if you have good knowledge when we talk about migration of services, you make your money and you make your customers happy. Okay. So the resource, the service for managing applications, you want to build your application, you want to bring your code from GitHub, from Bitbucket, from Azure DevOps, we can use the Azure App Service. But before going into Azure App Service, there's one thing we need to note first, which is the Azure App Service Plan. So I'm just going to quickly run through the App Service Plan. So the Azure App Service Plan is like a container where we create the environment for our app services to run. You can have one app service, and in that app service, several applications can run within that container. Remember, I said it's like a bucket. So everything is going to be running in that app service plan. So this is where we select uh, the features we want, the pricing tier. Okay, is it going to be basic? Is it going to be standard? Is it going to be premium? We're going to make those selections. So let's look at the pricing listing. Okay, so if you are going for the, so if you're having this conversation, you are more concerned with the standard. All these are just upcoming. You're just testing things. In the workplace, you are less concerned about the free tier, the shared tier, the basic tier. You want to get familiar with the standard tier, the premium, the isolated tier, and what makes them different. So with the standard tier, you get 50 gigabytes of disk storage space. At the premium level, you get 250 gigabytes. At the isolated level, you get 1 terabyte. Auto scaling. You also want to make sure that you have auto scaling functionalities in whichever pricing tier you select. Okay. Deployment slots. We'll talk about that in a bit. Your application, if you have your application running in this environment, that means you can build your application for web services and also for mobile services. So you can have a mobile page for your application. You can have a web page for your application. So mobile developers, they can use app service to build their applications. Auto scaling, every resource it has auto scaling functionality. So one thing I want us to note here that this app service is a platform as a service. So we've talked about, I think, 3 PaaS services now. So this is another platform as a service, the Azure App Service. In this case, it's running on a virtual machine, but you are not interacting with the virtual machine. You are not dealing with the virtual machine. You just set up the service and continue to okay. So you just come with your code, with your apps, and begin to run in Azure. All right, let's go into the portal. Let's look at an app service. Let's go into the resource manager template. So, how is it taking me here? Quick starts. Okay. So we want to deploy a WordPress application. WordPress. Deploy a single VM WordPress. Okay. WordPress blog with Docker. Let's use my SQL. Let's deploy to Azure. These are the templates. So this is the GitHub location of all those thousands or hundreds of quick start templates. This is for, that's the GitHub location. I want to share this page in the chat. So let's come back. I need to authenticate myself. Yeah, so I want to deploy a WordPress app. You see, we have Ghost blog here. Okay. Ghost blog is on AWS. Let me see if there's another. Just WordPress. Okay. So resource group. Let's create a resource group. Word. So if you want to set up a blog site, you can actually stand up your own website and just begin to manage it gradually. WordPress. Remember the pricing tier: free tier, basic tier, standard tier. This is in West India. Let's see if those values will change in West US. Free tier, basic tier. Let's use basic one. So this is the location of the script of the Blogspot WordPress blog that you want to deploy into the app service. So let's read the HTML. Okay, so this is the HTML page. So all these are the website interface and the GitHub dependencies that we need to manage the website. Okay, all the images. Let's see if this works. So if you go to the, once we run this deployment, you will see that all these images are there. Left side, right side. So this is a typical web application development. Let's continue. Master branch, create. So while this is being created, let's go and search for an app service plan. Services. So the app service plan, you can create it before creating an app service, or you can create the app service plan while you are creating the app service. It doesn't matter. Well, I just want to show us some components of the app service plan. All right, so we want to create an app service plan. So this is the bucket in which the container in which our app services will be created. WordPress blog. Let's give it a name. My WordPress app service plan. So which operating system? App service plan can run on either Linux or Windows operating systems. I'm going to stick with Linux. It's going to be in East US. For pricing plan, these are the different options: free tier, basic tier, premium. Okay. If I want to have a lowdown of all the different pricing tier, feature. Okay. So if you want to see based on memory, storage, if you just want features based on backups, so I'm going to stick with the feature view. You can see all the different SKUs pricing tier. There's a free, there's a basic, there's a premium. So maybe you need a solution for dev test, development and testing. And you can see from here how much you will be paying every month for usage. So in a production environment, you're going for the high-end premium options or standard options. So let's select the premium V3. Create app service plan. This will take a while. And we just created an app service plan. Succeeded. So now I can go and create an app service in this app service plan. I've selected my pricing tier. So I've selected my location. Okay. Any apps running? I can have multiple applications in this app service plan. So the fact that you have an app service plan does not mean for every web app I'm creating, I have to create an app service plan. It's an app service plan. It's a container. I can have multiple applications created in that plan. But most times, customers, users, they would rather create an app service plan for a web app. So that means that if you have a single app service plan, then they are all going to be drawing from the same resource. So that might be a downside. So app services. Succeeded. I think this is the WordPress we created. So it has its own dedicated URL. You can always customize this URL to our own custom domain name. Let's create an app service and put it in the app service plan. All right. Resource group. Okay, create a resource group for me. Can you see the app service plan we created? Premium 3 version 3 is the plan. Okay. So if I don't want to use this plan, I can actually create a new app service plan. So it doesn't matter. You can create it now or when you are creating a web app. You create a web app in app services. This is a platform as a service resource. All right, so this is the WordPress web app. I need to Give it a title, Band Music Global. So as an administrator, you want to be able to access the backend of this blog site. What's this now? Arts. You want search engines to index your site. You can check that box, but this is for learning purposes, so I don't really care. Save my password. So I have admin access to this website. And this takes me to the dashboard. So this is the backend of WordPress 6.1, 1.1. So this is the version. This WordPress has been installed on the virtual machine, even though I didn't get to interact with the virtual machine, but you can see that this is the source code repository for the WordPress website. This is the source code repository. So I can actually deploy this directly into Azure. So let's see what the website looks like. Customize your website. You can add media. You have the admin access, so you can do anything you want to do. You can add pictures. If you have pictures you want to add to your website, you can add them from here. Okay. So this is the backend, but if we go into the website itself, this is what will be seen. Publish. So as an admin, you can always go, oh, I want to change the background features. I want to change these pictures. Okay. I want to change my theme. All these things can be done from the backend. You see the about. So this, we just created a WordPress website in an Azure App Service. So we are still creating another one. So we said we can give it the name WordPress 1212 deployment. Do I want to enable? Okay, I can't enable continuous deployment because of the pricing tier I selected. Choose another runtime stack. Let's see. Okay, so we're talking about runtime stack. Now, if on premises your application is running on any of this runtime, ASP.NET version 3, so the version is very important. If it's a lower version, it won't work here. If it's a Java-based service, if it's running on a lower version of Java, we won't be able to migrate it. Same applies for Node, PHP, Python. Okay, so it has to be a version that is available in Azure. So if you want to think of migrating your on-premises app running on a Node platform, we can select that and migrate to Azure. So I can pull my codes from GitHub or Bitbucket or any other GitHub engine of choice. But because I already have GitHub connected, it will want me to pull my source code from here. Continue. Yeah, so this is the application. So I just went to my GitHub repository and went into the source code environment, and it just listed it. So I have only two branches. I have a main branch. Yeah, just one branch. I have a main branch. I don't have any other feature branch. So another question, in Git, how many branches do you have in a GitHub environment? Well, not how many. Name some branches you should have in a GitHub environment. You may be asked in an interview, what is your branching strategy? So usually, if you are an engineer, if you're a developer, if you're a DevOps engineer, one question you'll be asked is, what is your branching strategy? So anybody wants to say something? Branching strategy. Any idea? What is your branching strategy? How do you respond to that? There's the main branch, testing branch, feature branch. So that's another topic for another day. But just know that when we are talking about source code repository, GitHub environments, you, as a developer, as an engineer, you are not going to be working with the live, because as it is now in the real world, this could be my live environment. So you can be modifying my files like this. Okay, you can't be modifying my files when it's live. So as a developer, if you need to make any modification, you are going to initiate a Git pull. This is the file. So if you have access, you just do a Git pull, copy the, or download the files onto your desktop. So there's GitHub desktop, and you can download the old zip folder into your desktop and continue to manage. That was the same way I accessed my lab resources. What is that? VS Code. Okay. And once it's downloaded, you'll have something like this. So you can go into the location of that folder, and you can now begin to manage, access your your source code. So this is how you're going to edit your source code. And now if you need to commit to live, somebody has to review what you're committing to live. You don't want to, nobody's going to allow you to just commit your branches. Look at me, I have 2 branches. Okay, so let's check branching strategy. I don't want you to take my word for it. Branching strategy. Feature branch, merge, feature branch. No. What are branching strategies in Azure DevOps? Let's see. Master branch, feature branch. Just give it a name. There is no specific name. Just know that in a typical environment, okay, release. So this one's a hot fix, release, feature branch. Just expect a question like this as a cloud engineer, as a DevOps. If I go into the DevOps, these are questions you'll be asked. The release branch, feature branch, master branch. So the master branch is perhaps your production environment. So codes will be committed to the master branch. So if you want to make any modification, you are not going to be making those modifications live. You are going to download or pull your source code to your own local machine, do all your changes, add your features, then commit, and maybe your senior manager, your IT manager, your DevOps, senior DevOps engineer will review your codes before it is merged to the master branch. Let me see if there's, okay, Atlassian should give us a better explanation. Release branch, feature branch, task branch. Okay. So check out this one. This is just a digression, but I feel somebody might need it very soon. All right, so this is my index file review. And let's create. Yes, so check out this website. So I can begin to, so look at the name, Urban Music Global. So I'm building an application, Urban. Please let me know if you can access that website. Everybody, confirm if you can access that website. Positive, negative?
Yeah, I can access it. About Music Global. Not secure.
So I can download Teams. If I don't like that team, I can download my own Teams. I can buy Teams, okay, from WordPress. Okay, so different things. Edit. Store view. This is how I will create my website. Won't be any website developer. All this capturing something. Okay, cannot find source control token. Okay, we won't use that. Let's redeploy. App services, create. Time stack, .NET version 7, running on Linux in East US. Create. So I downloaded a new theme. Let's see how that looks on my web app. Yep. So this is the theme I downloaded. So you can build your website yourself. Look at this tip I'm giving you now. Maybe you've been looking for how to build your website. I just gave it away for free. Build your website on WordPress platform. You don't need to pay any web app developer, website developer. So if I'm okay with this, theme, then I can continue to customize. Yeah. So I can continue to customize. If I don't like this theme, I'll go back to the marketplace, publish another. I think this looks cool. What do you think? If everybody refresh that link, you should have the same. You should have the same layout. Confirmed?
Yes.
Yeah. This looks cool. So this is a typical way of developing your website. So you can play around, carry your photographs, just test, play around with the typical website, build it from scratch, then monitor. So the website we built now, let's check the activities on that website. So let's go under monitoring. Since I shared the link with everyone, let's see connections based on connections. Oh, nothing yet. CPU time. Okay, no activity yet. Let's check. Okay. Okay, so this is the WordPress website. So in real time, I can monitor the health status of my website. Okay, so I can check metrics based on connections. So the connections went up, I guess, when I first shared that link. And then there was a connection drop. So if I'm more interested, okay, why did I get a spike here, I can begin to troubleshoot my server, my application. Uh, let's see. Let's see some other metrics, current assemblies. Okay. So if you want to go into so monitoring and observability is a career on its own. You can be a monitoring expert. Grafana, Prometheus, those are monitoring services that they have created a name for themselves in the infrastructure environment. But this is integrated into Azure Monitor, and I can I can see every transaction uh, on my blog post. Okay, so this is where we're going to end. We're going to continue from here tomorrow. So we're going to look at deployment slots. This is very interesting. We're going to look at how developers uh, update web pages and they push it to production. So my blog site, this is actually a production environment now. So it's live production, but I'm an admin. So because I'm an admin, you'll see my username. You see the team, I can change the team, I can change my team to any. So because I'm an admin, but you now you are a user, what you'll be seeing will be different from what I am seeing. You just be able to see the homepage of my blog site. So we're going to look at deployment slots. We'll see how we can uh, modify our applications and push to production in real time without causing any downtime. So tomorrow we'll continue from here, look at deployment slots, uh, look at the performance monitoring features like application insights. We'll also look at backups. How do we configure backups for our web apps? We'll look at all these features tomorrow. Okay. So, any question? Are you there? Wake up, wake up.
Yes, I'm here. No question from me now. Because I know some videos I've not been able to watch them, but I will try and catch up.
No problem. So, see you tomorrow. Dami, you have a question, Dami? Is Dami trying to
Yes, I have a question, but I'm at work right now, so I will I will take the question for tomorrow
respond?
because what I have to ask is on my system. So